Hello everyone, welcome to 4th sem and in my first class as well. So I think Pushpa ma'am already sent the syllabus copy in WhatsApp group for paper 1 and paper 2, both the paper. So in paper 2 I will take differential equation 3. I think that is 4th unit. In paper 2 4th unit, that is differential equation 3. See, in 3rd sem you studied differential equation 1, you studied differential equation 2 also. Similarly here you will study differential equation 3 and differential equation 4. Okay, so I will go for the differential equation 3 in paper 2 unit 4, that is differential equation 3, and I think I have sent the notes also. So let us see what we will study in the differential equation 3. Okay, so here the first concept is, means if the linear differential equation is given of nth order and with constant coefficient, the linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficient. So difference between the differential equation 3 and 4 is, in this unit we will study with constant coefficient, and in differential equation 4 we will study with variable coefficient. Okay, so the linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficient and variable coefficient. So let us see, if your differential equation is of nth order and with constant coefficient, how to find the solution of this type of differential equation. Okay, so here first the linear differential equation of nth order is given by a naught d raised to ny divided by dx raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus y divided by dx raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2y dx raised to n minus 2 plus so on. You will get your last term is an and here only y. This is equal to f of x. This equation or this type of equation is called linear differential equation of nth order. If you see here order is n, higher order is n. So that's why this equation is called linear differential equation. And linear, why linear it is? Because if you see the degree or power of each term, here we are having power of each term is 1 only. Power of each term is 1 only. Okay, that's why this is the linear. This is the linear because power is 1 for each term. Therefore, this is the linear differential equation of nth order, because here higher order is n. Therefore, this is called nth order. The linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficient, because if you see the coefficient of this derivative term, what we are having here, a naught, a1, a2, so on, an. So here a naught, a1, a2, so on, an are the constant. Okay, that's why this differential equation is called linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficient. Okay, so this equation of the form is called linear differential equation of nth order with constant coefficient. Okay, because here coefficients are constant, and this is equal to f of x. We will get here it is the function of x. In RHS side it is the function of x. Then next, how to find the solution for this differential equation. Next step is how to find the solution for this differential equation. Okay, so the first step is, if your differential equation it is in this form, then substitute the value of d by dx is equal to d. Substitute the first step. The first step of this is substitute the value of d by dx is equal to capital D. Similarly, if you are having d square divided by dx square, then you will get the value is capital D square. Similarly, suppose if you are having d cube divided by dx cube, then you will get this is equal to capital D cube. So on, in nth term, if you are having d raised to n divided by dx raised to n, then we have to substitute the value of this is nothing but capital D raised to n. That is important. Okay, so first step is substitute d by dx is equal to d square by dx square is equal to capital D square, so on, d raised to n by dx raised to n is equal to capital D raised to n. Okay, suppose if d by dx is equal to d, then you will get 1 upon d. Okay, in general you have to know this, because when we find the solution or particular integral, you will come across that then we have to know 1 upon d is nothing but integration. Okay, please remember capital D is nothing but differentiation, and if you are having 1 upon d, it is nothing but integration. It is nothing but integration. Okay, suppose similarly if you are having d square is nothing but second order differentiation. D cube is nothing but third order differentiation. Similarly, if you are having 1 upon d, it is the first integration. If you are having 1 upon d square, we will get it is second order integration. Means we have to integrate one more time. If you are having 1 upon d cube, we have to integrate again one more time. Means 3 times. We have to integrate the given function 3 times. Okay. Please remember this. This is very important. Capital D differentiation, 1 upon d, it is integration. Okay. So first substitute this in the given equation, given differential equation. So what you will get over this equation, or you can call this is 1. So equation 1 implies what you will get it is a naught d raised to n by dx raised to n. What is the value of d raised to n by dx raised to n? Capital D. So you will get a naught d raised to n, capital D raised to n, and here we are differentiating y. So keep y as it is. Next, plus a1. We are having d raised to n minus 1 divided by dx raised to n minus 1. So you will get here it is capital D raised to n minus 1. Again we are differentiating y. Don't forget to write this y. Okay. Similarly we will get next is a2 capital D raised to n minus 2 y, plus so on. Our last term is a naught y. Sorry, it is an y. Okay, this is equal to what we are having, it is f of x. So this is your first step. Try to make the given differential equation, this type of differential equation, in this form by substituting d by dx is equal to d. Now if you see each term, in each term we are having y is common. So take the outside. So what we remains with a naught d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 plus so on. Here we remains with constant term an, y is common. So this is equal to f of x. Okay. First, by substituting this value, try to make this equation in this form. After that, take y is common from each term, write down outside, and remaining term write down inside the bracket. Okay. Let us denote this whole equation is nothing but f of d. Okay. This whole equation is nothing but f of d. Y, this y as it is equal to f of x. Let us take this is the given differential equation. Okay. Yeah, here capital F of d is nothing but what? This equation. A naught d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 up to an. Okay. Now, next, how to find the solution for this? This is the first step. Okay. This is the very important first step. Try to make this equation in this form. Okay. Then, the very important concept is how to find the solution for this differential equation. How to find the solution for this differential equation. That is very important. So if this is the given differential equation, then the solution of this differential equation, and here f of x is the function of x. Okay. Then the solution of this differential equation is given by in two forms, or the general solution is given by y is equal to CF plus PI. Okay. This is the general solution. Very important. This is the general solution. General solution of a given differential equation. Next, what is CF here? CF is nothing but complementary function. CF is nothing but complementary function. And PI is nothing but particular integral. PI is nothing but particular integral. See, if you compare the differential equation 1 and 2, this is very easy. Differential equation 3 is very easy. Okay. So, we know the general solution is given by y is equal to complementary function plus particular integral. Okay. But how to find complementary function? How to find particular integral? So, first we will see how to find the complementary function. Because for each differential equation, to find the complementary function, it is common. But how to find the particular integral? it is depend on the given function f of x. It is depend on the given function f of x. Okay, so there are 4 to 5 methods are there. If your f of x, it is in the form of e to the power of x, or it is in the trigonometry function sin x or cos x, or it is in the form of x raised to m. It is depend on this condition. Okay, so we will see that particular integral later. First we have to know how to find the complementary function of the given differential equation. Okay, so let us see how to find the complementary function first. To find the particular integral, we have to use the f of x. Depend on f of x. Okay, now to find the complementary function, first let us see to find the complementary function. To find the complementary function. Okay, so the most important, or you say first step, the first step to find the complementary function is we have to equate this LHS side is equal to 0. One more thing, okay, first we have to equate this LHS side is equal to 0 by using this equation. We are having, this is the given equation, given differential equation. So what if we have to write? A naught d raised to n plus a1 d raised to n minus 1 plus a2 d raised to n minus 2 plus so on plus an into y is equal to 0. Okay, don't write f of x. Here we have to write it is equal to 0. So we have to equate this LHS side term is equal to 0. Okay, that is the first step to find the complementary function. And suppose in the given differential equation only, if you are having this is equal to 0, means we don't have the f of x function, then your solution, this general solution can be given as y is equal to only complementary function. Okay, the general solution is given by y is equal to only complementary function. When if f of x is 0, means in the given differential equation only. Okay, in the given differential equation only, if your RHS side is 0, then the general solution is given by y is equal to complementary function, that is CF, because particular we can't find particular integral, because this particular integral is depend on the given function f of x. Okay, next, to find the complementary function, our first step is equate the LHS side is equal to 0. Okay, then write the auxiliary equation. Next step is write the auxiliary equation. How to write auxiliary equation? To write the auxiliary equation, substitute capital D is equal to m. Substitute capital D is equal to small m, and don't write this y value in that equation. Okay, so what we will get? A naught m raised to n plus a1 m raised to n minus 1 plus a2 m raised to n minus 2 plus so on plus an is equal to 0. Okay, don't write y here. Or write down the auxiliary equation by substituting capital D is equal to m. You will get a naught m raised to n plus a1 m raised to n minus 1 plus a2 m raised to n minus 2 so on plus an is equal to 0. Okay, next step is find the roots of this equation. Find the roots, and you know how to find the roots of the equation because you studied this. This is very basic thing by using factorization method. Okay, find the roots of this equation. Find the roots of this equation. Now to depend on these roots, we have to write the complementary function. So up to this, try to understand first up to this. Okay, first to find the complementary function, equate LHS side is equal to 0. Write down the auxiliary equation by substituting capital D is equal to m. You will get this equation. Next, find the roots of this equation. Okay, so there are many cases depend on the roots, because roots can be real also, roots can be imaginary also. Okay, so if the roots are real or they are different or they are equal, then what are the how to write the complementary function. So first point, if the roots are real, real number, okay, real number, and if it is different, if the roots are real and it is different, then the complementary function is given by c1 e to the power of m1x plus c2 e to the power of m2x plus c3 e to the power of m3x plus and so. Okay, here m1, m2, m3 are the roots of the equation. m1, m2, m3 are the roots of the equation. Suppose if you are getting by any equation, if you are getting m is equal to 2 and 3. Suppose if these are the roots, m is equal to 2 and 3 are the roots. Then see here, these are the real numbers. These are the real numbers and they are different. So complementary function can be written as c1. c1, c2 are the constant. Okay, c1 e to the power of m1. m1 means first root. So our first root is 2. So we have to write 2x plus c2. The second root is 3. So e to the power of 3x. So this is the complementary function with respect to these roots. Okay. Suppose if we are having here minus 3. So here we have to write is minus 3. Either they can be positive or they can be negative. Only remember, if the roots are real numbers and they are different, then this is the method. Suppose if we are having one more root, that is 1. Okay. Then we have to write again c3 e to the power of 1 into x, that is nothing but x. So this is the complementary function with respect to first case, that is if the roots are real and different. Next, second step is if the roots are real only but same. If the roots are real and equal, not different or same. If the roots are real and equal, then the complementary function, or you can say repeated 2 times. If the roots are real and repeated 2 times. Okay, then the complementary function is given by c1 plus c2x e to the power of mx. c1 plus c2x e to the power of mx, where m is the repeated root. For example, see, for many equations we will get roots are repeated. Suppose if m is equal to 2 and 2, you are getting 2 times 2 and you are getting 2 times 2 only. Okay, means m1 is also 2, m2 is also 2 only. Then the complementary function can be written as c1 plus c2x e to the power of m is nothing but the repeated root, that is 2x. This is the required complementary function if the roots are real and it is repeated. Okay. Next, similarly, if your roots are real and repeated 3 times, here you will get c1 plus c2x plus c3x square and e to the power of mx. Means if you are having m is equal to 2, 3 times, then you will get c1 plus c2x plus c3x square is equal to e to the power of 2x. Okay. If the roots are real and repeated 3 times. 2 times, 3 times. Similarly, if you are having 4 times, most of the times you will not get it is 4 times. Maximum you will get 3 times or 2 times only. But suppose if it is 4 times, you will get c1 plus c2x plus c3x square plus c4x raised to 3. Then e to the power of mx. Okay. This is the one case. Next case is, okay. So the next case is, suppose if your roots are imaginary. Okay, before that, suppose if your roots second, third, repeated 3 times, 4. Suppose if the roots are real, one root is, or all roots are real, if one root is different, and one repeated twice. Suppose there are 3 roots, exactly 3 roots, one is different and 2 are repeated. Then the complementary function is given by c1 plus c2x e to the power of mx. This is for repeated root, plus c3x e to the power of, let us take m1 is repeated, m2x. For example, if you are having roots are m is equal to 1, 1, 2. Okay, these 3 roots are there, but here 1 and 1 repeated 2 times and 2 is different. So how we will write it is c1 plus c2x e to the power of x, that is m1x. m1 is 1 into 1, so 1 into x, plus c3, this is not x, c3 e to the power of m2x, c3 e to the power of 2x. This is the complementary function if the one root is different and one root is repeated twice. Okay, see, if you want, first you can write this also, c1. If you want, you can write down the c1 first, no problem. Answer is both are equal only. So if you want, you can write down for this first, that is c1 e to the power of 2x, and we can write c2 plus c3x e to the power of x. Both answer are same only. Either you can write in this way or you can write in this way. Okay. So this is one case. Next is, fourth one is, if your root is imaginary. You know, imaginary means it is in the form of complex number, that is alpha plus I beta. Suppose if your roots are imaginary, that is in the form of alpha plus I beta, then the complementary function is given by e to the power of alpha x c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. This is the complementary function, e to the power of alpha x c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x. For example, suppose if you are having root m is equal to 2 plus or minus 3a, and you know your complex number is always appears in pair only. Okay, so it is a plus or minus only. So 2 plus or minus 3i, then you will get here alpha is real part, beta is nothing but this imaginary part. So how you will write the solution? E to the power of 2x, because the alpha value is 2. Then you will get c1 cos 3x, beta value is 3, c2 sin 3x. This is the complementary function if your root is imaginary. Okay. Now suppose if your imaginary root itself is repeated. It is not possible, but suppose if it is repeated, then the complementary function is given by e to the power of alpha x c1 plus c2x cos beta x plus c3 plus c4x sin beta x. This is the case if your imaginary root repeated twice. Okay, see, many times you will not get this, but suppose if your root is repeated, this is the complementary function. And one more case, that is if you are getting one root is real and one root is imaginary, that is in the form of alpha plus I beta. Okay, one root is real, one root is imaginary, then the complementary function is given by, either you can write the first for real or next for the imaginary, no problem. Suppose if you are having m1 is the, or m is the real number, and you are getting one root is, that is alpha plus I beta, then you will get complementary function is c1 e to the power of mx. c1 e to the power of mx. This is for complementary function. Next, for imaginary you will get e to the power of alpha. So e to the power of alpha into x, e to the power of alpha x. You will get here c1 already we have written, so write down the next constant, that is c2 cos beta x plus c3 sin beta x. This is the complementary function if your one root is real and one root is imaginary. Either you can write this term is first or you can write this term is first, no problem. E to the power of alpha x, here you will get c1 cos beta x plus c2 sin beta x plus c3 e to the power of mx. Both are same. Okay, so these are the cases. Different cases depend on the root of the equation. Okay, so we will solve the problems depend on these cases in the next class.